We're about to get Fable 5 taken away from us yet another time. And it's not going. It's just going to be gated by paper token instead of our already existing Claude subscription. They're not disabling it unlike last time, but they're putting it behind a paper token paywall. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Daniel. I'm not a guru. I don't have any courses to sell you. I just built real AI systems for real clients and share my learnings here on this YouTube channel. So without any further ado, here are 5 use cases you should run on Fable 5 before it gets taken away from us. And the last one is the craziest. So use case number 1 is an overnight run. We all know how LLMs are notorious for quitting early and saving as much time and cost as possible. So this prompt right here is literally built for us to be able to make Fable 5 run for longer. So you can see here, we're describing the task first of all, and then we also have to define the definition of done, what that means. And then we'll also obviously hand over any documents, files, constraints, anything of that sort that it needs to be aware of. We're also asking it to also spin up a caffeinate tea, right? And this basically leaves your Mac open overnight and it will not shut down or go to sleep. And by the morning, it'll give me what it completed, what it worked around and why, and what still needs my decision, and the evidence that work functions as intended. All of the prompts mentioned in this video are going to be linked in the description so you can get it from there. But I haven't been able to test it out fully because I didn't have enough time to test it out. But the longest I was able to run it for was 2 hours. So that's pretty good. So the second use case is cloning a SaaS. And to be honest, this is why they disabled it in the first place, because it puts every single software company at a risk, essentially. And using this prompt here, I was able to copy Whisperflow and make it run locally on my own computer so that I don't have to pay for the Whisperflow subscription. And so basically the AI brain behind cleaning up my speech, I'm just using my Claude subscription to clean it up. But I'm sure you can think of 10,000 softwares that you don't want to pay the subscription for, and you can rip all of them and remake them in Fable 5 and then make it run locally or whatever it is that you need to do. You can see we're mentioning the product, the price of it, and the actual purpose of it, and the platforms or constraints. And then we're giving it structure to break it down into different phases. Phase 1 is understanding the job, right? So again, what problem it's actually solving, research on the product, read all of its documents, its websites, its marketing, everything of that sort. In phase 2, it's actually going to build it out. And then in phase 3, it's going to prove it works. And then the definition of done here is that the core loop runs on your machine locally and does that one job. And you can see a real output and not a claim that it's actually done. And it's also going to be honest with you about what the gap is between the product and what it actually made that is running locally on your machine. Let me open VS Code and give you a demo of my local Whisperflow. And I'm calling it Yapper. That's what I've called it. You can see I'm just going to press here and hey, so I have a task here that I need you to work on. These are some filler words. This is a part of my demo, but yeah, I hope that the task is, there's no task. So please, yeah, just like, I don't know, do whatever. But yeah, this is something probably you can tweak, right? You can add your own custom instructions that it needs to be like even shorter, or like you have any certain words that you use quite often. So it would know what you're talking about in the transcript. But you can see here, it transcribes it perfectly. And it also puts in an M dash. And that's how we know that it's going through an AI pass, right? And it's just running on my Claude subscription. So again, cloning a SaaS, yet another subscription I don't have to pay for. All right, so the next use case here is a setup audit. If you're using Claude, Claude Code, Cowork, whatever it is, chances are you've probably set it up in some sort of a workspace, whether it may be AIOS or just you're using handy dandy Cowork. But if you've had this set up for a few months, chances are your setup is probably a mess. There's like tons of contradicting files and there's like lots and lots of bloat. And every time you open a new chat, it's just like too much context and you're probably wasting a lot of tokens. So I did this in my own AIOS setup here as well. And you can see this is the terminal where I ran this command. But you can see here, it went through 81 of my skills and 112 memory files. It saw some security risks as well as far as API keys are concerned. And the memory cleanup it suggested would save me 1600 tokens per session. So this prompt here helps you do exactly that. And it has the same step-by-step, phase-by-phase formula of doing that. Again, all of these prompts will be linked in the description so you can get it from there. The next use case is to actually find Fable-worthy work before you actually invoke it. Right? We don't want Fable 5 to be working on some low ROI task, right? So this prompt here basically goes through all of your projects, all your files, any backlogs or anything of that sort, and then will actually give you a ranked list of what is actually Fable worthy. And you can see it'll return here the top 10 Fable for the use cases ranked and a ready to run Fable brief. You already have your Claude subscription and you have Fable 5 unlocked, but you don't know what to work on, right? So this is the prompt that helps you find those action items. Moving on to the last and final one, we have the financial analyst. Now, full disclaimer, I haven't run this myself just yet, but I've seen others do this and they're getting great results from it. So you can see it maps everything before it analyzes. Every single number is going to be recomputed a second way, and it's also self-verifying before it reports you anything. The use case here is that you or your business has messy financials and you have thousands and thousands of due diligence documents that you need to go through. And so there we have it. The 5 use cases that we must run before Fable 5 gets taken away from us again. Again, all of these prompts will be linked in the description, but that's it for the video. If you got value out of this, please make sure to subscribe, as it helps me make more videos like this and help you more in the future. And see you in the next one.